What's up, everybody? This is ZenViking, rocking it to you from Central Texas. And this is my review and story time, my review of the Mora Heavy Duty, and story time about how storm giants tried to kill me. Yes, I was hanging out with some buddies, some total camping noobs. And we were car camping. It was a fun time. We went out there and chopped a bunch of wood, had a big bonfire the first night. Second night we went on a great hike. It was a good time. But then, as I was sleeping in my hammock rig, which I'll tell you more about later, it decided to rain. No big deal. Got a great system. I was told it was a new system though. I was worried. I was worried the tarp was going to leak along the seam through there. I was worried that I would get drip line action. I was totally fine, no problems. But it was on a beach area, not a beach, but on the lakeside, so it had kind of sandy soil, and it started to rain. It started to rain. It started to rain. It rained most of the night, and then I woke up to one of my buddies saying, "Hey, Alan, are you okay?" And I looked to the right, and my tarp was way out there when it had been right here. It was way out there, and I was like, "Whoa, dude!" I was like, "Wonder what my tarp on the other side is doing." And it was like I turned my head, and it was like tarp right in my face. I just literally like put my face into tarp. It was awesome. So I was like, "Oh crap! I have not tightened my guy lines out at all the night. I got to do this." This was all in the span of just a few seconds, of course. And I'm wearing all like easy dry stuff, and I was like, okay. So I get out of my hammock, boom, run around, come over, tie it up, looks perfect. Tie the next one up, slips out of my hands with a big gust of wind. But I grabbed it, no biggie. So I tightened it up again, and this wind just crazy huge just blew sideways and pulled all my tent stakes but one out of the ground, wrapped them around my rigging, and flung them into the side, and I was instantly, in like 20 seconds, went from sleeping comfortably in my hammock to freaked out of my mind, adrenaline, scared, soaking wet, and my, onset hypothermic, shivering. Car camping, yeah, fucking A. So then I was like, we had one of those screened-in shelter things. It's like, that was my backup plan. I'm going to the screened-in shelter. So I ran the screened-in shelter. Everything in there is just about as wet. The water is just flying sideways with the wind, and I'm like, fuck, I am soaking wet, and I got to fucking warm up, dude. I got to warm up. And so I had to bivvy. And I fucking bivvied, and it was awful, and it was awesome all at once. I was totally able to warm up, not at all able to dry off. I was just soaking wet, and my bivvy system worked great. And I'm going to tell you guys more about my bivvy system in a couple more reviews. I'm going to do a whole bunch of reviews on the gear that I used when the storm giants tried to kill me. And this is one of the pieces of gear I used, the Mora Robust. I'll tell you more about, a couple different things and relate it to that story and other uses, of course, but that was a hell of a time, so I'm going to roll a bunch of stories through them as I plan my revenge against the storm giant bastards who tried to kill me. My friend has a theory. He thinks my ancient enemies in the Yakuza were trying to sneak into camp and kill me because I had a little cut on the side of my face that wasn't explainable, and he said he totally heard them over there by me, like, lording over me as they planned my demise. And then Thor, being, like my best bud, was like, dude, I got to totally save Alan. I'm just going to send a bunch of storm giants because I know he'll survive, and that's a possibility, but I think they were assholes. I think it was premeditated, and fuck those guys. And anyways, enough of my antics and bullshitting. On to the knife. I can't tell you how unbelievably freaking impressed I am with these knives. I've been playing around with knives for a long time, ever since I was a kid, and I've gone through a lot of them, a lot of crappy knives. And I was hooked into the ESEE, K-bar, Becker type stuff is what I was into and interested in. And a few other things, not that I owned any of those, but not that I owned a Becker either, but I owned a bunch of ESE stuff. I admit, I was on the ESE bandwagon, and I still am. But I would notice I would have all kinds of trouble. I had ESE 3, ESE 6, and a Azula, and 2 Azulas, and I noticed that I would just have a lot of problem with feather sticking. I know a lot of people use feather sticking, but I think it's a good test for what the knife's capability is. And You know, I use them for fire starting because in Texas it's not so moist and you can just fire stick all day long and it's no big deal. Not have to worry about as much about moisture normally, except when storm giants try to murder you. But typically you can do that, and they're fun, dude. Dude, I like doing feather sticks. They're fun. But when I heard about the Moras, and it was like, oh, everybody likes the Moras. It was actually a kind of an old boy. I don't know who it was, but an old boy on YouTube reviewing the Becker Necker, and he was talking about you know, how some of you folks out there like them Moras, and I was like, dude, if this, I mean, and he was advocating some hard use gear, and I was like, if he's advocating, well, he must be advocating it, but you know, he just definitely didn't diss it, didn't disrespect it. So I was like, you know, I started getting more interested. And I finally bought one. They're so cheap, and man, the cutting performance on these things is just astonishing. It just really, really is astonishing. I can curl with this better than just about any knife I own. That Scandi grind is just epic. And I really wish more reviewers would talk about grinds, because I think grinds affect cutting performance almost more than anything in a knife. And this was my first time with the Scandi grind, and I gotta say I'm hooked. The Scandi grind is just epic in its usage. Convexes are definitely awesome, definitely nice. I own a convex. I love it. I like it. But I feel a lot more confident with my ability to sharpen a Scandi than to sharpen a convex. Not that I'm going to quit. Not that I'm going to quit. But I had thought that all my gear had remained relatively unscathed from the Storm Giant attack. The tarp I thought was ripped to shreds. Is awesome. No problems. My hammock lost one of the little cinch straps that was on the stuff sack. Yeah, who cares? My rigging was fine. Everything was okay. My down sleeping bag dried out. Yes, down sleeping. Yeah, that's, by the way, that's what my dumbass managed to grab out of my hammock rig, along with my ribs pack, to go bivvy in the shelter. Way to go, Alan. Down in a pouring rain. Yeah. Not so happy with down right now. But anyways, I thought everything had come unscathed until I went out on a picnic and a gear review or gear test for the Vargo Hexagon and the Esbit Trangia knockoff, and I discovered this little beauty. Look at that. Look at that sickness. I don't know how well, I suppose you can't see it that much, but man, this whole middle area right here, just nothing but red pitted filth. Got it on the back of the spine. Got it right here. And it's just darker down here. I did a forced patina with white vinegar before. And I guess part of me thought it would, you know, protect it. New with patinas, can you tell? Yeah, epic patina, Alan. I don't know. If I do it darker, would it have protected it better? I don't know. We'll experiment. But what had happened is this knife, I had kept this knife in my ribs pack, right? It was sort of like my backup, like go-to knife. So I have my ribs pack on. You know, I kind of have everything running out of my ribs pack right now. And I had this thing in there, boop, and the ribs pack didn't even really get wet on the inside, but I guess it just got enough moisture, and that hole down there was shoved up against the corner of that nylon, and it just marinated in that moist air, and it just, oh God, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. And I guess another part of me was like, oh, it's a $20 knife. But, you know, over years, my ESE E6, I haven't checked it either. Dude, I'm so stupid. I'm all the time, you should check care of your steel, you should take care of your steel. And I was so freaked out coming back from that trip that I was just like, oh my God. And I set everything out to dry and totally forgot about the steel. So it might be a good, I really need to build into my system. Should have done it already. Really need to build into my system a habit of always checking my steel when I come back from a trip. So I just came back from that picnic/gear test. Oh, there's a little nubby here. Hello. Picnic/gear test of the Vargo Hexagon and the Esbit Trangia knockoff. And I'm checking my steel. Cool thing is, with a knife this cheap, I can just buy a new one. But I got to say, I like this knife enough that I'm not going to trash it, dude. I'm going to clean it up. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Even with all that rust filth on it, that you could just take this thing hit it with sandpaper all day long and not worry about it. That's what I like about it also. Like, this is going to go out there. You're not going to baby this shit. Hate it when I baby stuff. I do it. I got a Falcon even I've been baby. But I don't baby this. And it gets out there and it gets used and it gets loved on, gets batoned on, and sometimes broke. I have not broken a knife yet, but I will be a better man having broken a knife, in my opinion. The grip, of course, fantastic. Plenty of grip. I don't find it to be substantially better than the normal non-heavy-duty grip. But, you know, whatever. It's a good grip. If you do Bikini, you can do all 4 hand grips with it easily. I do Bikini. Some. Need to get back to doing that more, huh? The grip's good. I find I don't have any sliding up on the blade. You know, my hand doesn't go that way. I found it's pretty comfortable. You can baton on it. I've hit this thing with a stick. No damage. No damage on the tip. I've banged on that tip a few times, putting it through some wood. And you can sort of see that tip's still pretty fine. Is the thicker blade a significant advantage over the other knives? I haven't noticed a real appreciable difference yet. I am annoyed though that these came more polished on the back of the spine, and I had to flatten that thing to get it to throw sparks. That was annoying. I kind of wish they just left it rough and kept the price down. This brings the price up a little bit. You know, in theory, the thicker blade is, you know, going to be more sturdy and going to split better, and I suppose it splits a little bit better. But you know, that's not your, you know, big splitting blade here. Oh, my big splitting blade. I put it through some big ass logs just to test it out, but you know, you ain't gonna go to this with your big splitting. But it's nice to see what it can do. The cool thing is though, I don't feel like the thickness causes any lacking on the finer detail ends of things. I find it doesn't get in the way of my feather sticking or paper cuts, or you know. In fact, I don't know. Can we do this? Do you think this is possible? Let's see if we can make use of the keyboard here. Your mission is tender. Mission accomplished. Let's see if I can shave some paper with this edge. Nope, I totally need another hand. All right, enough that stuff. But I'm pretty positive it'll shave paper. I need a tripod. I'm pretty positive this thing will shave paper, having been punked through wood a bunch of times, rusting out. You know, the edge on it is still really keen. I think I banged it into some rocks too. I kind of wish though that they had the heavy duty in a stainless steel. Hey Mora, do us heavy duty in stainless, because I like to use a Mora as my neck knife, and definitely if I'm using it as a neck knife, I want stainless because, you know, sweat. And I love this knife. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tang, I believe, comes right here. I don't know if I have a magnet handy. You know what? Hold on. Let me. No, I'm not going to put you through that. I've seen people put magnets on there, and Tang comes to about there. Not too shabby. Fantastic knife. The sheath, dude. The sheath is amazing. I know people are going to look at this and be like, that sheath looks like crap. And it doesn't look like much. And that's part of the beauty of it. It's cheap, and it fucking works, dude. The retention on it is a lot better than I thought it would be. You know? Like, people say it's not coming out, but I like to make them come out. And I'm just like, how much effort does it take to make them come out? And then can I do a straight, if I do a straight down and stop, it doesn't come out. I really have to pull back. Let's see. That was a bit hard, striking. That was a bit hard. Paracord got in the way. Try it again. There it goes. So a pretty good amount of retention, man. That's a pretty good amount of retention for this little plastic crap-ass sheath, man. Got a thumb brake, you end up needing that thumb brake. That's not just decorative, man. That thing works. And I find most of the time that the drain hole works. When it's not shoved in the corner of your ribs pack, yeah. The button thing, I don't know, maybe people use that. I just had an amazing idea for this button thing, though, that I'm going to tell you about later. Oh, my God. I just have an amazing idea for this. But I'm going to tell you about that later. Haven't used it. Didn't need it. I don't know. But don't start doing it yet, because I think I have an awesome idea. But then it's got this little clip nonsense in here. This is awesome. It's not nonsense. That clip is really effective. I find it retains really well on the belt. It keeps this paracord on there, and I just take a little loop. Whoop. Got a little retention when I use it as a neck knife, which I do very frequently. I like having a knife around the neck. Stays in there. Awesome. Awesome. And it's strong, too. I've dropped it. I've purposefully thrown it at trees and stuff. The whole knife. Knife didn't come out open, didn't come out of the sheath. Sheath didn't break. It's just awesome. And you know my favorite thing is this thing not only goes over the belt, it goes over the pocket, man. So you know how you have your hip, your knife in your hip right here? Your knife is in your hip, and you sit down and it pokes the shit out of you, and you like, fuck it, like, I'm getting poked, screw you guys, yeah. Fuck you, Loki, asshole, poking me. This thing, you put it on your pocket. Check this out. I bet you I can do this one-handed. Put this thing on your pocket, blam. It stays right there. It stays with your leg. You know how much nylon rigging people have tried, and swivels and shit people have put into their sheaths to try to make it do this. Hang low, not so it doesn't poke you, and then ride up with your leg, man. And it just stays right there. Look at that. It just stays right there. And you can sit down, you can do like this. I mean, this is a little, because it goes upside down, but you know what I'm saying, man. I was sitting next to the fire with this thing on, you know, and I wanted to remember to not leave it in my damn ribs pack. Again, moron! Not leaving a ribs pack again. So, dude, I just left it on my pocket, man. I got in my car, seatbelt, didn't hit it. If I had my Falknaven or my ESEE on my belt, I put my seatbelt on, that thing jabs you. Even when you're not rocking a little belly, which I am. Need to work out. Need to do a lot of things, huh? Funny what exes will do to you. Yeah, at least they're exes now. Yay! But man, that thing just stays right there. Man, you could hook it to the, see, I'm having trouble getting it off now. You could hook it to the side of your ribs back, man. You could put it around your neck. You could hook it to your bag with some amount of you could hook it to your bag with some amount of confidence, especially if you know, tied it down like this. Or if it was just light duty, you're just, you know. Man, the ability to do that sheath is awesome. I have an inverted Kydex sheath for my neck carry knife, my EDC knife. But you know, and I like it for that philosophy of use. But man, for going outdoors, this is the sheath, man. This is the sheath. Man, it's awesome. It really, really is awesome. So, anyways, here's my horror story of my knife. My Mora heavy duty in the fluorescent. Love the day glow. Love that I can find it. And it just looks so awesome when it's dusk like it was a little bit ago. So awesome. I get my fingers out of the camera. Yeah, you can tell I'm real practiced at this, right? Yeah. Just an awesome knife. And I'm going to do a few more videos reviewing gear from when the storm giants tried to kill me, because I got to tell you, I was really impressed with my gear. I was really impressed with my gear when you know, the storm giants tried to kill me, with the only possible exception of my tent stakes, which it would have been nice if they stayed in the ground, but I have never been attacked by storm giants, aka experienced, you know, 50-mile-an-hour winds and severe thunderstorms while camping to that degree before in my life. So, you know, I was a little inexperienced in that, you know, thing. And I probably could have used some snow stakes that had a little bit more, you know, surface area and kind of braced them. Could have used rocks, but, you know, I had a feeling that storm giants were out for my ass, and it was just going to take a lot of ass kicking back up backup survival gear that I took car camping to save my ass. Now, I know I probably wouldn't have died. You know, that's why the storm giants are stupid, and why my friend thinks that it was actually a ploy to get rid of the Yakuza. But, you know, I would have been fine. I would have been, even if I did, I probably would have gone a little bit hypothermic. I probably would have had enough sense to get into a tent with one of my friends. Yeah, I'm the smart guy. But I don't like to quit, man. And I'm glad I bivvied. But had I not had that bivvy stuff, you know, I would not have come out of that attack, that storm, without with the sense of confidence that I have. I felt really good about that experience. It sucked, but I feel like I was really fucking well prepared. I had a lot of good stuff, a lot of good options. You know, I had options that I didn't even break out, because I was like, dude, this is working fine, and I don't even, you know, I'm gonna have to dry that off later if I get that out, you know. Of course, that's the benefits of car camping. You know, you got tons of crap everywhere. But, you know, people want to make fun because I'm a total gear nerd, and I brought all this emergency stuff car camping, but I fucking used it, dude. I fucking used it. You should keep that shit in your car. And what shit am I talking about? Oh, that's for another video. Most likely some products from Survive Outdoors Longer, Adventure Medical Kits. Yeah, maybe. Something along those lines. Maybe an item from some bigger companies that we're more used to. It was all big box store stuff that saved my ass. But I'll tell you guys more about that stuff in future videos. For the meantime, keep rocking out. This is ZenViking, sharing the Dharma with everybody who will listen, and sharing the awesomeness of gear with even people who won't listen. All right, you guys. God, I love this knife. All right, good times. I love the Mora knives, all of them, all of them, all of them. They're worth putting in every kit. I've got them in my car, I've got them in my house, I've got them in my everyday carry, I've got them in my purse. Yes, I have a purse. And I have them in my outdoors gear, and they're just awesome. I highly recommend them to anybody who's going into outdoors at all, and even a bunch of people who aren't. These knives are so cheap and so good, you know, I can't sing their praises enough. But anyways, okay, so again, leaving now. ZenViking, bringing you the Dharma, bringing you the gear, sharing the wisdom of the gods, and kicking ass in the name of the All-Father.